Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about Xavi Hernandez's new attack for the next season. It has been said, according to Ferran Correas, that Xavi wants to revolutionize the attack for the 2024-2025 season. It's going to be a very big topic for today. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. If you guys are Barcelona fans, this is going to be the channel for you. I do have a members section where you get to have special perks, which is a badge, also shout outs through videos. You're also going to be having priority in terms of like questions. So if you do have any questions regarding like even outside of Barcelona and you want to talk about football in general, I can answer those questions for you and make a separate video from there. But if you cannot, that's okay. If you do want to support this YouTube channel, please like this video and also subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So let's get into business and let's talk about why Barcelona even want to revolutionize their attack for the next season. If we look at the Big Five table, this is all of the best teams within the top 5 best leagues in the world ranked in terms of who has scored the most goals. You can see City is first, Bayern Munich is in second, Arsenal is in third, Inter Milan fourth, Leverkusen fifth, sixth, Liverpool. It's crazy, right? How we don't even see FC Barcelona in the top 10, because you can also see Newcastle, Real Madrid, and PSG within the top 10, even Girona. But Barcelona is ranked in 17th place, and so of course Xavi Hernandez is looking at his squad and he's saying we were one of the worst teams in Europe in terms of scoring goals. Like Barcelona had a lot of tough times through matches where they could not find a solution, and we had players like Rafia, Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, Vitor Roque, and we could not compete with the top 6 at the very least in terms of goals scored. Liverpool, Leverkusen, Inter Milan, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, and City were all way better than us. Barcelona have only scored 70 goals this season, while you have City scoring 91. There's like a 21 goal difference here. And one of the ways Xavi Hernandez wants to change his attack for the next season is by introducing 3 players. Nico Williams from Athletic Bilbao, Xavi Simons, who is on loan at Leipzig but represents PSG, and then Bernardo Silva, a player that represents Manchester City. Now this is a huge task, right? Because introducing 3 new attacking players is going to take a lot of work, and of course it is going to be very expensive. Nico Williams will be costing 50 million euros. Bernardo Silva will be costing 50 million euros as well. Xavi Simons, though, he is going to come to Barcelona on loan, meaning that Barcelona are not going to be paying anything. The only thing they're going to be paying is his wages, which is going to be around 800,000 euros. Keep in mind that Xavi Hernandez will not stop there. Of course, the number one priority outside of the attack, it is the pivot position. That is where the money is going to go first. So we do not know whether it's going to be Zubimendi or Joshua Kimmich. In my opinion, I do think that it should be Zubimendi. He's still very young. He knows La Liga and he knows many of the players in Barcelona. He can gel at Barcelona extremely fast. And so I'm going to assume that we're going to have to pay the worst case scenario for Zubimendi, which is going to be 60 million euros. So in total, once we do get Zubimendi and we change our attack with Nico Williams, Silva, and Xavi Simons, we're going to have to spend a total of 160 million euros for this upcoming summer. In comparison, back in the summer of 2022, when Barcelona brought Koundé, Rafia, Lewandowski, and many more, we spent 158 million euros total. So this upcoming summer, we're only going to be spending 2 million euros more. And to be very honest, I know that 160 million euros is a lot within the context of Barcelona and where they're at financially, but what I don't understand is why would Barcelona spend less than they did 2 years ago? Of course, Barcelona had some help by pulling these financial levers and selling some of their assets. But here's the thing. In this exact same summer that we are going to go into, we're on path to go on the one-on-one rule, meaning that for every player we sell, we can bring a new one in. And also, the amount of players in general that we can sell is going to be a lot compared to how it was back in the summer of 2022. Rafia has a much bigger market value. We don't know the future of Frankie de Jong. And this is what's going to lead me towards the next conversation is, how are we even going to change our attack if we know that it's going to be costing 160 million euros and it's going to be revolving around 3 different players? Because this has been like the main conversation within the Barcelona fan base and the Barcelona media. It is Lewandowski, Rafia, and Frankie de Jong. 3 players who do take up the most in terms of wages, and 2 players out of these 3 have one of the biggest market values, which is Rafia and Frankie de Jong. And so let's talk about their current situation at the club, starting with Rafia. And this is just in. Rafinha's priority is to stay at Barcelona, but the Premier League is the only competition capable of convincing the player if he decides to change his mind. Roger Torreo also backed this up by stating Rafia will be open to a Premier League return if the offer is right on a sporting and economical level. Though his priority is to stay at Barcelona, Saudi Arabia is not an option for him, which is very true because Rafia at the age of 27 years old, he's at the prime of his career. I don't think that he wants to go to Saudi Arabia yet because he has so much more to achieve. Because when we talk about Rafia, this is not just a player that, goes to like random clubs and he's not really ambitious like that. Like, no, Rafia is somebody very ambitious. He wants to win trophies. He wants to win league titles. He wants to win the Champions League. Yes, he is a late bloomer like Kevin De Bruyne. Like, nobody knew who Rafia was 3 to 4 years ago, but now he came up to the scenes, and I know that Rafia knows that. So if he does make a move away from Barcelona, he would want to go to a club where he can continue to win big titles in Europe. It's not going to be Saudi Arabia. And to be very honest, I'm not somebody that's very close to Rafia. I don't know Rafia. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Rafia might say, you know what, yeah, of course I have huge ambitions in Europe, but I would like to see a huge bag, right? I would just want to make a lot of money, bang a lot of chicks, and just live a good life. I don't know. Rafia may say that in the summer, and he might go to Al Hilal or something for like 120 million euros, and it blesses Barcelona. But as of now, in terms of what we know, Rafia wants to stay at Barcelona, but if he has to leave, it would be the Premier League. Tony Juan Martí also stated Barcelona will want a minimum of 75 million euros to 80 million euros for Rafia. And like I'm telling you, right? Remember how I said in this upcoming summer, it's going to be costing us 160 million euros to reinforce our attack, plus of course the pivot position. If we sell Rafia for 80 million euros, that is going to be covering half already on what we are going to be spending for these players. Moving on towards Frenkie de Jong. It says here, according to Franco Reyes, Frenkie de Jong is on the transferable list for the board. Good offers will be studied for him. The player's position, however, remains the same. Frenkie de Jong does not want to leave. He is fine at the club and in the city and wants to fulfill his current contract. At the moment, he isn't thinking about a renewal. Franco Reyes continues to say on other media outlets, Deco made a renewal proposal to Frenkie de Jong, but he is still yet to give an answer to it. As of right now, he isn't thinking about a renewal. He wants to stay at the club. He stresses that he is fine at the city and would like to fulfill his current deal. So I strongly believe that this could be it. That this summer will be the summer where Frenkie de Jong finally leaves FC Barcelona. And I believe that Barcelona can sell Frenkie for 95 million euros. It's very much possible because we have to remember the history on the bids that we were receiving over the past 2 years. United set the bar by saying we will give 95 million euros for Frenkie de Jong because Ten Hag wants the player. So let's just assume that we sell Frenkie for 95. In total, with Rafia and Frenkie, we would be having 175 million euros to spend. In comparison, like I've said, going back to the summer, of the players that we want, which is Nico Williams, Silva, and Xavi Simons, also with Zubimendi, it's going to be costing us 160 million euros. So we would be receiving 15 million euros more. And to me, that is enough. To sell Frenkie and Rafia, that could be it for Barcelona. Now, I want to be very honest here. I really don't want to sell Frenkie or Rafia at all. Because Rafia, to me, he deserves to continue at Barcelona because of the hard work that he puts out. The amount of assists that he put out and goals, I'm like, dude, this guy here, he's amazing. He's awesome, right? He is our Xavi, but in the attack. Same thing with Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong is a player that I always said, I want to see this player here until he reaches the age of 34, 35 years old because he is one of our captains for a reason. But because of the financial state that Barcelona is in and because we're not backed like how City and PSG are backed financially, we have to sell in order to bring new players in. If we sell 2 players, Frenkie and Rafia, we can bring in 3 more. And that's a win for Barcelona as a whole. Barcelona will benefit a lot. And again, it's sad for me to even say that Frenkie de Jong has to leave and Rafia also has to leave for Barcelona to benefit as a collective. As for Lewandowski, I don't think that he needs to leave. Yes, he does receive a lot in wages, but again, with Frenkie and Rafia, that is enough. We literally do not have to make any more other exits besides those 2 players. In terms of what is currently going on with Lewandowski, it was said 2 days ago that Xavi in particular is open to the idea of parting ways with Lewandowski as he knows the release of his wages will help sign more players. The coach feels the striker will hardly be able to recover his best version of himself, but they will treat this with full respect. The club considers him to be a great professional and won't be forced to do anything in the upcoming summer. Now, it was also said today that Lewandowski will be playing and staying at Barcelona. He wants to stay to play here for at least 1 more year, and this is what the agent has confirmed. But what I do find very strange is that we have also heard that Xavi, who is the agent of Lewandowski, he will be visiting Barcelona next week to talk with Deco and Laporta to talk about the future of Lewandowski. So I'm like, okay, the agent today confirmed that Lewandowski is here to stay, but he's still going to be meeting with Laporta and Deco next week. I feel like the agent is only saying this just to calm the fire for now. So we don't know what is going to be the true plan of Lewandowski as of now. But like I have said, I don't think that he should be leaving. The answer right now, it is Frenkie and Rafia. I would not sell Lewandowski because he is our best goal scorer. If we let go of Lewandowski, who is going to be our best goal scorer, right? With Frenkie and Rafia, there are replacements. If you take out Frenkie, you're putting in Silva and Zubimendi. If you take out Rafia, you're putting in Nico Williams and Xavi Simons. But with Lewandowski, Xavi, who are you going to replace him with? That is what I don't understand. Lewandowski for me is in the 11, and I hope that next season he has his best season. And I would also advise, right, once we do have these type of talks with Frankie and Rafia, because I do believe that it will happen. I believe that Joan Laporta should really say, hey, look, you know, we love you. We think that you two are great players, but you also have to understand the predicaments that we are in right now. Just to make these players understand, it's not through because they have had bad forms as of late. We have to make that very clear for Frankie and Rafia. We just have to say, hey, look, we just want to do the best for this club. I hope you guys do understand. We're also going to be finding you guys great clubs for you guys to play in, and that's it. And so there is a lot of work. And the last thing that I do want to say is going to be this. If next season we can truly achieve a great attack, a revolution, right, like what Xavi did state, if we can have Nico Williams and Xavi Simons as two options within our left wing position, with Lewandowski, Vitor, and Ferran Torres as our number 9 options, and then Lamine Yamal and Bernardo Silva as our right wing options, if Xavi Hernandez still fails to score a lot of goals and we cannot go into the top 6 in terms of the best goal scoring teams in the world, then I will tell you, okay, it's really time to question Xavi. Because if we can also have a midfield of Zubimendi, Pedri, Gundogan, Gavi, I would even say Silva, because Silva can play as a central midfielder, and Guido from Real Betis. If those options are going to be truly like that for the next season and we still can't create goal scoring chances, then again I will tell you, okay, even with Xavi putting in Zubimendi, Gundogan, and Pedri, and we still can't create chances, then I will say, all right, then Xavi will need to be questioned. I think that he needs to leave. Let's bring in Pep Guardiola in the summer of 2025. Because right now I can't really critique Xavi Hernandez. I really can't, because if you're going to tell me that we're going to go into the next game and we're going to be fielding Christensen, Fermin Lopez, and Sergio Roberto, I'm like, dude, of course we're going to be failing in terms of chances created. Of course we can't create a lot within the inside channels. Xavi Hernandez has no options. But if he fails and we fall flat with a team like this, with Gundogan, Pedri, Zubimendi, Gavi, Silva, Xavi Simons, Nico Williams, Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, if he fails, I will be the first one here to tell you Xavi should be out for sure, and that Xavi no longer has a place at FC Barcelona. But first, we need to have this team within the hands of Xavi for us to even say anything. And I hope that Joan Laporta can do the work for us, because it's going to be very important. We have a lot of different competitions that we're going to want to go through for the next season. Real Madrid is going to be one hell of a team next season with Kylian Mbappe. La Liga is going to be very tough, and we need to have not just a great starting 11, but an 11 with great depth behind it. So that is going to be wrapped up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.